Hey all, I want to welcome you to part 2 of our Guts and Glory Masterclass. So a couple things I want to start with. First of all is I want to appreciate all of those that are taking time to invest in their own knowledge, invest in their health, and really give themselves the best opportunity to live their best life. There is a reality that there are plenty of people who don't like their health, don't like the way they feel, don't like the drugs they're on, but don't necessarily do enough about it to get the results that they want to. And so, well, it's not always easy. It's, in my opinion, always worth it to invest in your knowledge, invest in yourself, and help heal your body from the inside out. Really, what our focus is in this masterclass is helping to determine some of the root cause things for not just digestive health, but overall health, because your digestive system does influence so many different aspects of your health, whether that's your sleep, your mood, your immune system, your nutrient absorption. And there is a reality that when things are going wrong, not only is our current way of treating it abysmal, it also is something that very rarely treats root cause and often has so many side effects affecting things like nutrient absorption or damaging the gut flora or, a variety of other things. But the main point is for you to gain a knowledge that can help point you in the right direction to find the root cause for either your own problems or somebody you love and care about, or hopefully to be so proactive that you never deal with these problems. But some of the most common things that would indicate serious digestive problems are acid reflux, bloating, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, diarrhea. Anytime the bowel it's either hurts to eat, or you have trouble digesting it, or there's a problem and it's not coming out the other end normally, you have a serious issue. And like I said earlier, a lot of the medications that are used, they're not saying they might not be necessary for a short period of time, but they're not a good long-term solution, having high amounts of side effects, whether that's, steroids putting holes in your intestines, or acid reflux meds not allowing you to absorb certain nutrients, or, blocking up your bowels so that you reabsorb massive amounts of toxicity or whatever it might be. Now, we're going to review, the one we're going to review today is the short, so normal looks like. So the short version, when you consume food, your first opportunity to have high quality, high function is to put the right things in. If you put, Taco Bell or McDonald's or deep fried junk food from the bowling alley or whatever, or candy, of course, it doesn't come out the other end properly. It doesn't have the nutrient value that your body needs to function at its highest level or even a good level. So you got to have the right source to begin with. Healthy grass-fed free-range meats, healthy fats, fruits, vegetables, things that have large amounts of fiber. I mean, this can really make the difference in your health, is just deciding what you're going to put in there. But then once you put it in your mouth, your saliva starts to break it down. When it goes down from your mouth into your stomach, the amount of acid and the types of bacteria in your stomach affect how much is digested. And it's very important for you to digest enough of it so that you send the food more digested into the small intestine, where you're going to do a lot of the macro, the fat, carb, and protein absorption, but also some of the micro, the minerals and the vitamins and things that the food come out of the food as they're broken down. And that, as it gets farther and farther down your intestinal tract, you finish with reabsorbing or absorbing water, which makes the consistency of your bowel movements and also excretes the leftover, the toxins, the whatever else. So some of the vital components of that are not only the food, but the amounts and types of bacteria in your intestinal tract, the amount of acidity in your stomach and different parts of your digestive tract. These are vital. Now, where we left off last time was going over the different top 5 gut healthy foods. And I really want to spend a serious amount of time on bone broth for a couple of reasons. First of all, of the things, I think it's one of the easiest things to do. So if you're not familiar with bone broth is essentially water and the bone marrow of animal bones that's been boiled out. Bone broth is the way likely your grandparents or definitely your great grandparents, when they made broth, this is how they made it. So going back to, let's say, like when I was growing up, there was a strong Italian cuisine style. And so, you know, my great grandmother and my great aunts, and they would, you know, when they harvested the chicken on the farm, they would boil the chicken and get the, you know, the broth would be made. And why that's so vitally important is that type of broth has radically more protein. So like per cup, regular broth may have 1 or 2 grams of protein, where bone broth on average has 8 or 9. Additionally, it's full of the minerals that are in those bones. So when you're supposed to get calcium, or when you're supposed to get magnesium, or some of these different micronutrients, those are in the broth. So I was sitting here preparing this morning, and here's the bone broth that I personally am consuming today. But I either make bone broth or a smoothie 6 out of 7 days. So there are days that we go out for breakfast or might cook eggs or something like that. But in most cases, bone broth or a smoothie is the way that I personally like to start my day. Now, I wanted to show you a few different ways for you to get all these minerals and healthy proteins in your system. So at our house, there's 3 different types of bone broth that so this one is Bonafide bone broth. So that's one. And again, 10 grams of protein per cup, 45 calories per cup. So low calorie food, high quality. And this is probably the lowest cost one, Pacific Foods bone broth. And then you can add, you'll notice it says unsalted. So you can add your own Himalayan or sea salt. And then lastly, this is actually like a soup, but Kettle and Fire bone broth soup. And you'll notice this particular flavor is turmeric ginger, full of collagen, good for your skin, good for, all these different things. But I like to blend a couple of those together, add some extra salt. And again, that's the way I like to start my morning. So that is, from the gut health standpoint, the collagen and some of these different proteins can be very healing. Also, all those minerals are important for just all the different functions. One example of not having enough minerals is not just what it does to your gut, but what it does to your heart. So let's just compare, for instance, bone broth and acid reflux meds. So a couple of things that are very important. Calcium is a vital component to muscle contraction and really directly correlated with heart muscle contraction. So how fast your heart beats, how strongly it beats, which can help with keeping your blood pressure low, keeping strain off your arteries, can affect plaquing, can affect all this different types of stuff. And so calcium and then magnesium is very relaxing to muscles. So again, whether that's to help with sleep or the hardening of your arteries from a blood pressure standpoint or just from contraction standpoint, calcium and magnesium are very important. And you get a lot of these different nutrients from bone broth, from grass-fed cheeses, from like green vegetables, red grass-fed meats. These are just vitally important to your health, and not just consuming them, but of course, digesting and absorbing them. Now, take the flip side of that. Let's say you have acid reflux and you consume all these foods, but you also have done this other damage. Well, acid reflux meds, raise the pH of your stomach, and they dramatically decrease the amount of calcium that you can absorb. So even if you're eating the right foods, you don't absorb near as much. And so you can create calcium or magnesium deficiencies. And over time, that medication may actually cause you over a period of years to have a heart attack way younger than you should, develop cancer way younger than you should, develop these different things. So it's not like they're just to alleviate this pain. That you want to figure out what helps them grow. And so in just a moment, we're going to talk about some of the supplements you can take to help your body reverse the reflux. We talked about food in the last masterclass, eating high fiber foods, helping foods break down, avoiding high acid things like high amounts of coffee and stuff like that. But bone broth is just a great thing. It's easy to do. And fairly low cost, especially if you get like that Pacific brand. And if you're cooking, let's say noodles or stuff like that, so maybe not the healthiest meal, putting the right stuff with it can really make it a heck of a lot healthier. Just like cooking in the right oils can make food a heck of a lot healthier. Now, another way to get this, that is a way that I personally do it in the smoothie, or sometimes with workouts, is Max Living. This Pure Path protein is bone broth protein. So this has been, I'd say on the rate, like it's very, very popularized over the last 5 to 10 years. But bone broth protein and whey protein are two of the animal proteins that are both can taste very good if you get them from the right company, but additionally is a great way around workouts, around, again, in a morning smoothie. So when I have a smoothie, I typically dump bone broth protein or Pure Path for our brand name protein in the smoothie. So some sort of very healthy fat, make some almonds, coconut milk, almond milk, that protein is the way that I start with a smoothie. Maybe dump some Max greens in there, or a variety of different things. Ultimately, this is a spot where you should really consider, if you're not consuming this in your diet, you'd be missing a easy thing to help with health. And rich foods, especially things like berries. Again, these just help your digestive tract. They help antioxidants. What are called free radicals, which are the cancer causing things. Free radicals are in many chemicals that you consume in processed foods. They're in cigarette smoke, alcohol. I mean, different things that we know aren't good for us, but maybe you're done socially, recreationally, or just because you're out and about. If you went to the fair, if you went, wherever. And then ginger is just one of those. It's one of the, we're going to call it a prebiotic. So ginger, onions, garlic, these things actually help feed good bacteria and kill off bacterial overgrowth. So having ginger and onions and garlic in your diet are great ways to help feed the good stuff and kill off the bad stuff. They're also great for your immune system. They're good for even something like food poisoning. They can help kill some of that stuff off. But these are important things to digest or routinely put into your system. And while ginger is good, my wife and I, we like to, from the Elixir Juice Company, we'll drink one of their raw juices called Oh Snap, which has ginger ground into it. If you eat sushi, there's often ginger available. But then, onions and garlic are something that are much easier to get into the diet in general. Now, here's how you heal your gut. And I want to remind you that if I've said, any of the things that you deal with, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, indigestion, bloating, if you have any of those things and you need help, if you're an active client or a current client, set up a time with Mackenzie to go through what you're eating and what you can do to help your body heal from this. This is so important for your long-term health. So again, if you take the time to do this, if you need help, set up a time with her. It's complimentary for the first appointment, and we have 20 spots available per week for the next 3 weeks for you to do so. Now, let's break down, how do you heal your gut? First of all, you got to remove the bad stuff. I mean, you absolutely have to remove the bad stuff. So not consistently putting things that harm your body. Again, some of the big ones: blood pressure pills, painkillers, acid reflux meds, food colorings and additives, toxic vegetable oils like the canola and the soybean oil, and things like that. You just have to remove over the long term or minimize at the very least. Body care. So you can repair depending on the severity of the basics. I'll reiterate the two things that I said on the first one. The starting point for many people is to start with Max GI or the Daily Detox. If you've never done it and you have any of these symptoms, you should do 3 months of each, and then 1 to 2 bottles or 1 to 2 boxes per year. Specifically for bloating or reflux, Max GI tends to be better. For overall gut health, the Detox supplement to pull things out and let them repair. Now, if you actually have leaky gut syndrome, or if you have, some of these other toxicities, food allergies, this is where setting up a metabolics appointment is so important. And we've actually set aside, so we negotiated with the company, and we were able to receive for those people who do sit down with Mackenzie and do an life risk questionnaire. If you set up in between August 15th and September 15th, if you're doing or needing one of the metabolic health, we're able to take $50 off the cost of the test. But you have to set that up and send it in between August 15th and September 15th. But like I said, the first 10 people that get testing done will save $50 on that test. So $50 off the metabolics testing. Again, the LRQ is complimentary, but help your body repair. There's different things that you might need depending on, but things like gut renew powder, digestive enzymes. This is really difficult to generically recommend. It's so based on your lifestyle, your symptoms, but you need to repair the lining of your gut, whether that's healing the holes in it, getting the bacteria balanced. There's a variety of different things, but ultimately remember, you're getting to the root cause. And then once it's repaired, making sure you have the right types of bacteria, the right spreads, the right blends, the right stuff being fed, like the prebiotics, like the onions and garlic and ginger and that kind of stuff, but re-inoculate the gut, give it the right stuff. So like I said, some of the things you might see or that you might need are things like Max GI, digestive enzymes, gut renew powder, 50 billion probiotics. The 50 billion probiotics has over 8 different strains. So a lot of people don't realize that depending on the type of probiotic you're taking, there's different strains and different types. So you might be taking too much of one and not enough of another. You might be taking the complete wrong thing. Some people take so many probiotics that it actually becomes detrimental. Now, we're going to transition here into some of the other essentials and what they do or how they affect it. So first of all, exercise and gut health. To specifically focus just on what exercise. So exercise helps with overall digestive motility, meaning moving things through your intestinal tract. So moving things through your intestinal tract helps with exercise. Exercise helps move it. The second thing it does is it helps detox you. It detoxes you through sweating, through getting stuff out. So when you exercise at high intensity, you're not only helping to move stuff through you, you're helping your metabolism for getting stuff broken down, because your muscles are getting bigger and they're burning more calories, and you're getting things out with sweating. It helps detox your body. Now, toxins and gut health. There's so much toxicity that can affect what happens in your body. So first of all, household cleaners, a huge, huge issue for damaging gut bacteria. Things like bleach and different chemicals that you spray, Windex and stuff that you might clean the counters, clean the windows, clean the toilets. Anything that you smell or touches your skin is going into your body at some level. And there's so many different types of natural cleaners, like 7th Generation, which is available in every grocery store, Shackley. There's so much stuff as far as what you're cleaning with that could be better. But another gut-wrenching toxin, like fast food or processed foods, just absolutely awful for a lot of the digestive. They kill the bacteria. A lot of these oils are trans fats, which can cause gut health. You see, there's so many just criminal things that happen with the way food's allowed to be labeled. So for instance, with trans fats, these vegetable oils, as soon as they're heated, they turn into trans fats. But if you look on the label, it says no trans fats. If you look on, for instance, non-organic peanut butter, it says 0 trans fats. That's just because they shrunk the serving size down to the point where you're probably going to have 3 or 4 servings. But as soon as they shrunk the serving size down, if it's under half a gram of trans fats, they can label it with no trans fats, even though there's absolutely trans fats in the food. Additionally, cosmetics can destroy it. So oil-based makeups, deodorants, toothpaste. I mean, these things, you just need to switch over the long haul. There's environmental toxins, what you breathe in, pollution, all these sprays. Like, I was at the airport recently, and of course, we're sanitizing everything. Well, unfortunately, while sanitization, whether you believe it's right or wrong for the current climate, I'm not here to state that, but guess what it absolutely does? It destroys your gut. Sanitation at the level that it's being used destroys the gut. When you breathe that crap in when it's sprayed at the airport, or one of the huge things people do that is absolutely awful for them is constantly putting hand sanitizer on. That C. diff is one of the things that's severely resistant to alcohol-based hand sanitizers. And when you put that on your skin, about 25% of it actually gets into your body. And this isn't saying like that you would get drunk from the sanitizer, but what it does is it gets into your digestive tract, kills off the good bacteria, and then certain, let's call them weeds, like when we're using the garden analogy, like C. diff, can overgrow and literally can cause you to be severely ill or can kill you, all from you being insistent on sanitizing your hands, sanitizing kids' hands, all the stuff that was sprayed in schools. To me, in my opinion, it's going to cause so much more long-term harm than this. And people absolutely avoided things that were so much more effective, like exercising, detoxing, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, getting adjusted. And I'm not saying all people did this, but there's plenty of people who gained 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds during this last couple of years, stayed inside, ate junk food, smoked cigarettes. Alcohol sales were off the charts, highest alcohol sales. And yet and then you add in sanitation, and lots of people are actually worse off or are having long-term side effects from doing so. And the last one, which I'm sure isn't surprising, but maybe you don't think about it because you think it affects your lungs, but it's smoking. Smoking cigars, smoking cigarettes, does throw off your gut bacteria, damages the toxins in this, the tar, all that stuff, significantly and severely damaging. Now, if you want to check your stuff, there's an app. It's EWG, Environmental Working Group. You can download the app and you can actually screenshot or plug in the different chemicals or the different cleaners that you use. One of the things that I was disappointed in, there was a sunscreen that I thought was very healthy. It was zinc oxide. It was mineral based, but it rubbed in really easy. And so we liked it as our family. And then when we plugged it in the Environmental Working Group app, it was a 7 out of 10 for toxicity. So that is traditional sunscreen, which is a 9 or 10 out of 10. In fact, again, some of the counterintuitive things, regular non-mineral based sunscreen, many studies show causes more cancer than even severe sun exposure. And of course, a lot of people think all sunscreen is the same. It's just like anything else. It's not the same. You got to get the right stuff. Anytime you're putting chemicals on your skin, you have to wonder where it's coming from. But this EWG, or Environmental Working Group, is a great spot to have an action step or to check these things. Now, some of the other things that are maybe not easy to avoid, but are something that's definitely worth considering: the quality of your sleep, de-stressing, doing things like meditation, even something as simple as calming down while you eat. There's quite a few studies that show that having a calm meal where you actually sit down and take your time and eat slowly significantly affects the absorption of the nutrients you're eating, can affect weight gain, can affect stress hormones. And how many people, eat on the run? They don't sit down. They microwave their food. They do these things. And so stress definitely affects gut health. It affects how fast gut motility. It affects moving things through. So meditation, but one thing would be slowing down when you eat. So slowing down when you eat is a big, big deal. So let's talk about some action steps to help your gut that anybody can do. One of the simplest things is to do a fast. So there's a variety of ways for you to fast. You can do a 24-hour water fast. You could do a 24-hour bone broth fast. You could do a 24-hour juice cleanse using places like Elixir or Thrive Market, for these juice cleanses. But you can just essentially avoid putting things that are difficult to digest into your system and let your gut cleanse. There are ways to do longer, but 24 hours in general for most people can be pretty safe. If you're an athlete, I like a bone broth cleanse because it still gives you enough protein for your muscles to be, fueled. But you could even do something as simple as just not eat meat for 1 day or 2 days. Because as I mentioned in the last masterclass, eating meat takes about 5 days to get through your digestive tract. And many people have huge amounts of meat storage in their gut. So if you eat a bunch of fruits and vegetables, high fiber foods, and no meat for a couple of days, many people will lose a significant amount of weight, literally just flushing it through their bowels. Another way to do that is to drink at least a gallon of water a day for a period of time. But getting enough water is significant in weight loss and digestive health. Sleeping, getting 7 or 8 or 9 hours of sleep. Also, this is another aspect. So, getting these things that are very simple, but prioritizing them can make a huge difference in your health. And like I said, if you're not sure where to start, schedule a time with Mackenzie, schedule the life risk questionnaire, and go through this. As I've mentioned before, from a credential standpoint, Mackenzie has a 4-year nutrition degree and 6 years of max living training in nutrition, max metabolics, supplement protocols, how to implement depending on, medication, all these different things. So just a great resource that you have right at your fingertips. And like I said, if you do need the advanced testing, the first 10 people to do so from watching this class will have a $50 discounted pricing to get them that. Now, lastly, remember, structure affects function. The middle nerves in your back are the ones that control your stomach. As you go down from mid to low, they affect your small intestine, your large intestine. I can't tell you how many kids I've adjusted that have constipation that sprint to the bathroom after their first adjustment, after we adjust their tailbone, their L5, their L4. Your brain controls every function of your body. It sends messages from your brain down your spinal cord, out your nerves, to every cell, organ, and tissue in your body, and tells your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, your stomach to digest. If you pinch the nerve going to that area of your body, of course, that organ can't function normally. It's going to function abnormally. Abnormal function over time leads to disease. Clearing your neurology, helping your brain connect with the rest of your body, desubluxating or unsubluxating or correcting subluxation in your spine allows you to heal and function at a radically better level. And there's so many people that go see the doctors, go see the specialists, can't figure it out, do all the tests, spend tens of thousands of dollars, try these different horrific high side effect drugs, and really they never got to the root cause. They never corrected the subluxation. They didn't correct the gut bacteria. They didn't put the right foods in. Medical doctors in general are just not trained in this area. They're great for life-saving interventions, but if you're having digestive problems, getting to the root cause of the problem is so vitally important, and I implore you to do so, to find where you can be at your best. You deserve it. Invest in your health. Live your best life. And the last mystery word is reflux. Reflux, like acid reflux. So have a very blessed day, and make sure you take an action step from watching these videos.